Hi, it's Paul Clifford from Disruptware, and today I want to talk about accelerating your application with ready-made code that's already done for you. Now, at the very basic level, you probably heard me talk about PHP as an example programming language which you can use. Well, together with PHP, you can also use PHP frameworks. And there's frameworks are things like Code Igniter, Cake PHP, and one called Yi, and a whole load of others. But what these frameworks do is they provide a lot of the legwork for building these applications, and they handle things like database management, caching, permissions, internationalization. Often they provide something called CRUD, and CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete, which is basically the four essential features that any sort of object or person within an application needs. So, PHP and frameworks are a great way to accelerate, your application. Another thing you can look at is on the user interface side, using something like Twitter Bootstrap. And Twitter Bootstrap, again, is another framework for implementing user interfaces. And what's really cool is it uses a consistent language and consistent templates to enable you to do that. And so not only does it really look great, but it's also easy to maintain and build upon in the future. And instantly you have a very up-to-date, modern-looking application just by implementing that framework alone. Lastly, there's one other way which you can accelerate your application, and that is by looking outside of those consistent commercial frameworks, and that is look at the open source world. So look at open source applications or modules or tools that might perform part of what your main application needs to do. So for example, perhaps you want to include an editor in your application. Well, there are companies out there who provide open source versions of the editor, but what they also do is they can license that to you commercially. So for a small price, you can actually buy a commercial license to use their code in your application, so you get full ownership of it, but you leapfrog a big module of development which you don't have to do yourself. Other places to look are things like Code Canyon, and Code Canyon is a big library of ready-built modules and applications and frameworks which you can buy and license directly from a developer and build that in to your application as well. So, I hope that's given you several ideas and methods that you can use to leapfrog and accelerate your development and get it out to your customers as soon as possible. This is Paul Clifford from Disruptware.